On the Range podcast. On the Range.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Range podcast. I am your host, Mark Kelle, and joined by my co-host and friend, Rick HOGG from HOGG Tactical. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it's going great. We just got back from being on the road, spent some time up in Pennsylvania, ran a low light course and a performance pistol, then cruised over to Connecticut, had a private course over there. So, brother, zero complaints. We are on this side of the dirt, so always a great day. Just want to thank the viewers, listeners out there for giving us, or really entrusting us with your most precious commodity, your time to listen to the show. I greatly appreciate it, guys. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, leave us a rating, review, all that other good stuff. Since you're out surfing the interwebs, swing by warhog.com, kelledefense.com. Sign up for those newsletters because trust me, you're looking at the cruise of both. And yeah, we try to get the newsletters out the best we can, but one-man show. So it is what it is. But here's the thing, guys. You always can swing by patreon.com/On the Range podcast. Become a member of the crew. Completely free to join, see what it's all about. But really, the moneymaker with that is the bi-monthly Zoom call with our patrons. Completely interactive, kind of go off of what they're looking for, questions they have. Hey, I think last Zoom call, we're watching video, diagnosing problems on the fly. So absolutely.
Great call.
Yeah, absolutely. Great crew. Really looking to become that 1% better. So it's just not lip service. We're out there saying we're doing it. And I got to tell you this, Mark, I got to do a slight plug. Firearms training notebook with page numbers, huge, absolutely huge. Guys, if you don't have a copy of the firearms training notebook, make sure you get yourself one, because here's the bottom line. It is, in my opinion, the ultimate tool if you're looking to improve your marksmanship performance. Couple key things. You'll never hear us mention the word times. It's always data collection, right? You're pulling data for yourself. How do you make yourself in your firearms journey that 1% better? And everything starts with page 26, or maybe it's 22. Now I forget. Warhog selfie. I forget, because I was rattling off, 3 different days this week. Oh yeah, I think it's page 22 starts the Warhog selfie eval. But yeah, it's just and really the students dig it. They're getting valuable data during the courses, and they're already having a plan for that. But definitely check out the firearms training notebook, 1% better every day. Written by both myself and my co-author, Mark Kelle. So, yeah, buddy. And that was all your idea. So great job on that one, pal.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Hey, guys, wherever you are, thank you for making us part of your day. And like Rick said, the firearms training notebook is a great piece of kit. And we did the spiral bound. It could lay flat, fold over itself. We may do another pre-sale on that. We got some polls going out so we can see how many people are interested in doing that again. Unfortunately, it's a little tricky getting a good price point that we can keep that spiral bound edition down. But you're right, the page numbers were great. That was a great change we made along with that. That was something, a little bit of an oversight, but hey, we're trying to get better. So, like Rick was saying with the crew, go to the crew and let us know if we can help you become 1% better and sign up for one of those tiers. That Zoom call was great, but I love that video analysis that we did on one of our crew members. Great video, couple of teaching points that we talked about, and he had some issues that we were able to work through, and everybody's able to see it and kind of watch us how we work through it. So it was a great call. So good on him. Dan Mason is a good dude.
Yeah, he is, buddy.
Out there getting after it. Yeah.
Plus, we've got 100+ other training videos on there, right? So yeah, you can see all the post Zoom calls we've done, but that thing is packed with content exclusive for our patrons. And 9 times out of 10 when I'm recording stuff, whether I've got it at a class or whatever, hey, patrons, bam, this is for you. So
boom.
Yeah.
That's it. The bloopers are good too. We get those in there every now and then.
My stuff is always bloopers, right? I just press that record button. It's running. I don't opt to edit. Hey guys, you see it in the raw, right? It is what it is. And hey, enjoy. So,
yeah, but it's good to be back. I think these Wednesday and Thursday releases are going to be good. I know you got a Words of Wisdom that was in there. That was a great one. Good response on that. Speaking about the notebook, I mean, those things, it's starting to pick up a little bit of steam. The numbers are looking a lot better. We'd like to see that double and triple, not because of a capitalistic sense only, but it's just a great tool. And I think people are getting excited about it. You're starting to see some repeat purchases because people are just burning through those pages. But yeah, man, you just got back from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So good on that. And we got some other stuff coming up. We just put up I know you got some classes coming up. I just put a new one up on the website for a pistol class. So go check that out on the websites. Go to those websites and sign up for those newsletters, man. That's where you're going to get all that information for sure.
You're going to get the info. And then same thing, June 6th and 7th, we've got free law enforcement training via Project Officer Survival, down in Holt, Florida, which is on the Panhandle. Free, right? Walter's providing the pistols, Aim Point's providing the acros, and Safari Land the holsters. And yeah, all you got to do is bring 400 rounds, be an active law enforcement officer, and dude, you're going to get it for free. So I'll tell you, it's Thursday's class is getting pretty close to being full. Friday still has a couple slots in there, but yeah. And the beauty with that event down there is we'll have vendors there as well. They'll have live fire bays. So, hey man, if you want to come out and shoot some guns, see some new targets, check out a mobile shoot house, force on force, marathon targets with those crazy 3D moving stuff. They'll be down there. So brother, it's going to be a great event without a doubt. Yeah. So,
can't wait to see how that turns out, man. Yeah. It's going to be great.
And that vendor event, hey man, open to the public, come on down, so go shoot some guns for free. So you can't beat it. Element Training Complex, Holt, Florida, June 6th and 7th. We'll see you there.
Yeah. So next week, got tons of recording going to go on up here. And I know you got some stuff that you can throw on there, but like those numbers of videos are going up big time. Going to start doing some new stuff. And the reason why, and I know we've been talking about this for a while and it's been pushed off for a couple of months, but the activity on the crew membership and the websites and in our classes, especially on the Kelle Defense side, because of the time that's freed up, is because I am retired from law enforcement now. I am now a retired law officer. I'm no longer an active law enforcement officer. And I think we wanted to kind of get into that a little bit because people know that you and I have been doing these businesses for 7 years. 7 years. And I kind of had a plan. You had a plan for when the time in the uniform services is over, that it was going to be established and waiting for us. But there's a lot more that goes into that. Most of us Americans get up every day, go to work, whatever our chosen profession was, get after it, do our best, try to be good parents, try to be good spouses, all that stuff, do the best we can. No one's perfect. And try to just be 1% better. And then all of a sudden, what you've known, in some cases like us, I mean, we're talking 36, 37, 38 years of the constant structure of having that position and the newness and the different things that we had the opportunity to do. All of a sudden it's all over because the machine's got to keep going. And we kind of have to jump off the train. And I've got a couple stories about that, and I want to hear your take on that as well, because, now, you've left uniform services. It hasn't been that long ago. This is the second time I've left it, and it's a little bit different this time because of the length I was in. But what's your first impression about, let's just get into the mindset piece, because I think the mindset piece and having things set up doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to have the same feelings as someone who has got nothing set up.
The mindset is this, at least for me, I knew exactly we were going to be running, Warhog Tactical. But what I didn't realize is when you make that transition out, man, where was my gym? Where was my range? What am I getting for lunch? Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to make my lunch, right? Like all your admin stuff. And then, oh, by the way, all these guys that you've been working with all these years, now it's just kind of you. And really probably the key critical part where I failed, and I failed and I didn't fail, right? It's like I never really explained to my wife how much I was going to have to work because I really didn't know. And she's like, you're working all the time. And it's like, yeah, because you're trying to figure all this stuff out. So, by going to a physical location for a gym, dude, we were just wasting time. So let's pivot, get a home gym in. So now the gym's here because, hey, what if I can't make whatever time I'm gonna work out? Now I'm trying to rush to get to some gym and you're burning an hour plus to and from, not including your workout. How can we make things as easy as possible? Yeah, we don't have a place where we can set up a range on our own property. So that's a little challenging, right? You're gonna have to go out there. So you are gonna have to burn some time for that. But it's all about having your plan when you go out there. You're going out there for your marksmanship, you're going out there for test your skills, you're gonna get some content, and really trying to figure out what is your daily routine, because no 2 days are the same. And man, I work more now as an entrepreneur, not really realizing it. When I get out, it's like it's a constant grind 24/7. But you've got to find that balance. You've got to have some type of plan. What does my daily day look like? And some days are going to be different. Like, hey, the other day, what was my daily plan? Hey, man, I got to go burn 11 hours on the road to get back home.
Right.
But how can I capitalize that time? Right? How can I can't do texts and emails and all that other stuff, but I can try to make phone calls, right? Hey, man, who's around? Who can we catch? And you just try to capitalize that. But it's definitely, I think where guys will get snake bit, for lack of better terms, is if your identity is your job, if your identity is your title at work, to me, that's where a lot of guys get in trouble. Your identity has to be you. And I would tell everyone getting out, go be your own boss. Because at that point, you can run whatever your passion is. I'm in the firearm space, Mark. I know you're in the firearm space. This is our passion, right? This is what we wake up in the morning to do. But if you get out and then you go work for somebody else, man, you're just going to another grind. Going to work for somebody else. Go work for yourself. To me, it's the most rewarding job. Build your brand, get out there, help others along the way. I mean, there's nothing better than having that job satisfaction and knowing my identity. Hey, man, I'm Warhog Tactical, right? Rick Hogg with Warhog. You're Mark Kelle with Kelle Defense. There's something to be said for names and brands, and I think it just brings it closer to you, and just kind of helps that whole transitional period where you leaving whatever service you're coming from, whether it's law enforcement, military, some type of first responder, whatever. At least there's that tie where my identity is what I'm doing next. And oh, by the way, it's got your name in there. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, I definitely try to find how's a way to plug your name for your brand. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, for some people, that passion for just getting up and doing the grind, that could be your thing. I mean, that could be something that you want to do. Maybe you just want to do another job, just having another job and going back. That maybe, I don't know. But I think the point that you made about trying to figure things out, because it's going to be different. And I think I was a little smacked in the face about how different it was, even though nothing really changed other than I just don't have to go to work. I still had some stuff from Kelle Defense I was working on. However, next thing you know, and I think I even brought it up to you, I'm like, wow, this is the first day. And I think it was like the day after my final day, the 27th. And I think it was that Monday or Tuesday. I think it was a Monday. I said, this is the first day that I haven't had a job. And it kind of was hitting me. Yeah. And you cut that off right away.
Yep.
Yeah. And because that's not true. You do have a job. And you know what? Here's another thing too. Being a good parent, being a grandfather, being, someone that's there to support everything that everybody else is doing, that's a purpose as well. That's a job. That's something that you are supposed to be doing. So I just want people to think that, and you just said it, having something tied to what you do every day is not necessarily your biggest or greatest purpose. It's part of it. So figure things out. I didn't think that would be as tough as it was. And actually, all that time, you know how we're early risers. We get up, do stuff, get things done. start checking off those boxes on those task lists. Next thing you know, it's only 11:30 and you're almost completely done with everything you thought you were going to do. Now that may happen. That may happen.
Sure.
So I remember calling you. I was like, bro, I got like 9 hours left. What am I going to do? That it's just all these different thoughts that are coming into your brain.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think for most people going into entrepreneurship, that's going to be the boat, right? But then what you quickly find is, man, you've got to start learning, right? You got to start digging. Hey, what was this term SEO? Like, when I was starting to build my website, SEO, what? So now you're sitting there trying to watch videos and listen to different things to understand better what SEO is. Okay, cool. I understand what SEO is. Now, how do I plug that into my website? Oh, yeah, the website that I built. Now I got to go waste time again because I could have done that the first go around. So really, for guys, it's almost, if you can do some legwork prior to getting out. And I'll give you a prime example. My website, I'm on my third one. So how much time did I waste along the way to get to this third place where we're finally at? And it's constantly being tweaked, right? Like, your website's not a one and done. Your website is constantly being tweaked. So I know, at least for me, within that homepage, yes, we've got, hey, what's our next classes coming up, right? So obviously we just got done our stuff in Pennsylvania. People would have never seen the Connecticut stuff because that was a private deal. But yeah, we've got, our events coming in Florida. So a lot of times it doesn't appear like you're busy, but really you are, because there's a bunch of backside stuff that people, the public will never have a touch point with. So it doesn't matter. Like, hey man, when's your next open enrollment? You never do an open enrollment. Yeah, because we got about a gazillion other things going on the plate.
Right.
But what I have found is, really from the entrepreneurial standpoint, right? It's you're trying to work that network, right? So you're trying to email and phone call and get that stuff. You're trying to, hey, who's my mentor? Who am I getting guidance from? What books you're reading, what videos you're watching, how you tweaking, to get your sales going, how you get your website up, how do you increase your people to subscribe for your newsletters, all that stuff, man. And dude, it's like I said, when you said, man, I don't have a job, it's like, brother, you most certainly have a job.
Yeah.
It's, you go from owner, CEO to freaking, now you're doing fulfillment. Now you're doing website development. Now you're doing, or website design. Now you're doing
marketing, whatever.
Marketing, all that stuff,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Some of the, I don't even call it anxiety. You feel different when you leave a job, and it's something that you put a lot of effort in. We're available all hours of the day. It could be anything. It could be anything. You could be a supervisor on some kind of a crew on the road. Something happens, they call you guys and girls in. People know what that's like. You don't ever really sleep. Your phone's right next to you because someone's going to need a question answered, and you want to be there for those folks. And then all of a sudden you start to get to that point where some of the more direct stuff that, for us, it would be, I guess you would say, the tactical stuff. You start to see that at some point there does come it's finite. It's a finite amount of time where you could be out there getting after it with the guys and girls. Then you got to figure out, what am I going to do with it? Well, you pivot, you become the wisdom, you become the, someone who can help them get better at what they're doing, maybe correct some things, talk to some leadership stuff. You kind of pivot a little bit. Then all of a sudden that's even gone, because I was at a point where I was going to have to leave shortly anyway. And I'm like, well, maybe, and you and I talked about it. The wife and I talked about it, multiple times. It doesn't matter how I feel now, and I'm really not ready to go. I still feel very capable, and I get it. I get it. But at some point, you're done. You're done. And then all of a sudden, you slowly start to back away, and it catches up. That time speeds up. And next thing you know, it's your last day. It's your last day. Everybody, you walk out with your box full of stuff.
Yep.
And everybody goes back to work. And, it's a harsh reality. I remember leaving you when I left from Bragg. I remember that.
Yep.
You had to go back to work, and I'm
Yeah.
just driving. What am I going to do now? So it's tough. It's tough. So I just want people to know, when you leave, you pivot from something, or you go from somewhere that you've been very familiar with and very successful at, it's okay. It's okay to have those feelings. And I still have them, now. It's only been a week,
Mhm.
and it's totally, totally different. And, you just got to remember, keep getting after it, figure out what you're going to do, and take some time to figure some stuff out. And another good point, and we've talked about this too, when we're like, hey man, and we tell our crew members, hey, put stuff for the family that's important,
Mhm.
that you don't want to miss. Put that in your calendar, because that's just as important as that meeting that you're going to have at work, or something
Yep.
you're going to have with those things are important. That goes on your calendar just like anything else, so that nothing else is in the way.
Mhm.
But you said, hey, you need to start putting some, and my wife said this too, you're gonna have to start putting stuff on your calendar for you to do, because if not, you're never going to do them, because we're
Mhm.
not built that way.
Yeah.
We're the true happiness and satisfaction comes from servicing others, and being
Sure.
out there. And I get it, but
Yep.
you better start being good to yourself when that time comes, and you've earned it, but you got to do it just for balance,
I Yeah, and like you bring up a great point, Mark, right? When you look at the calendar, dude, if you look at my calendar, there are certain family things that are plugged
Mhm.
in there that, hey man, people are gonna say, hey, can you sorry, dude, that time's
Nope.
blocked, right? It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
our family sacrificed for all these years. And trust me, I will tell you firsthand, it's easily to fall in that trap again, where now, hey, I'm going to start putting the business first. We're out running, we're going, you almost get the blinders back on, because boom, things are rolling good. And you start kicking some dust in the family. It's like, whoa,
I know.
hey,
I know.
let me throttle this back. Right. Sometimes could be mama digging in your ass, your kids, whatever. Right. But you've got to sit there and make them a priority. And like I said, just have that conversation. Hey, if you see me start drifting too far off, let me know.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to communicate. We were talking about this, kind of pre-show. It's like, it's easy when you're a home-based business and your wife's there, and then she can get kind of pissy when you go, hey man, you're not spending any time with me. Well, I'm working. Well, I didn't know you were working. It's just that, hey babe, and we do that. Hey babe, give me about 30 minutes. I got a couple emails to launch out. I got to make a quick phone call. Boom. And then you're good to go. But I also tell her too, I kind of prime her, because sometimes when you're dealing with East Coast, or excuse me, West Coast companies, and you're on the East Coast, hey, when they call you at 4 o'clock, which is, 7 o'clock your time, hey, I might be getting a call, just to kind of let them know. Or, hey, man, we're going to do um, an evening Zoom call with the patrons. Well, she knows that because it's in the calendar, right?
Right.
Sometimes these other ones pop up where somebody's like, hey, drop you a quick email. Hey, man, I'll give you a call tonight. I'll give you a call today around 4 or something. You're going, 4, man, you're out in the freaking West Coast, do my quick math backwards. It's like, yeah, 7 o'clock at night. So to me, that's the key thing, is just communicate well. Oh, my bad. Yeah, phone's dangling. I should have muted that bad boy. See, bad business practice.
Yeah.
But no, it's communicating with them just so they know, hey, here's what's
Yeah.
going on, and have them, at the same token, have your kids tell you, hey, they got stuff going on, graduations, promotions, whatever. Be there for them, and just let them know, hey, if you need something, I'll drop whatever it is for the kids. If
Oh
they
yeah.
need something, yep, here's me and mama, off we go, bam, and go support them. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's you gotta make sure you're doing that. Don't neglect them, and you can very easily get caught in that, blinders on, and you're doing nothing but business stuff.
Yeah. And I think we'll probably get into this maybe on another show, part 2, definitely, because there's some stuff in there that you can go down a hole real easy real easy, and I can see how it happens. Like I said, you and I had something kind of in the works and in the plan, and you still have those same things that people are dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've even had the wife say, "Hey, you don't seem very excited about it," you know. Um, so, and some of the things I said, you shut down right away because I was thinking the wrong way. And if you're not out there doing something or just being with the family or doing things for yourself, it's easy to slide down there. So we'll come back to that on another show. One thing
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about,
Mhm.
and you and I talk about this all the time. We talk about this all the time, and even with the transition that I'm doing now, and the one that you've done, since you've got out of the Army. If you are not embracing the process, okay, if you are not embracing the process of trying to be better, 1% better, the two guys that show up at almost all of our trainings, Big Ben was one of them. He's one of those
Mhm.
guys. Kenny Freeman's one of those guys. Dude, we love training. Love it. Absolutely eat that stuff up.
Mhm.
And I'm going to figure out something today, or I might figure out something today, how I can do something a little bit better. Some kid may show up with something that's whiz bang, and I'm like, holy crap, what are you doing? And how did you come up with that? Whatever. And we're going to use it, and we're going to try to make it work, and we're going to start teaching it, passing along. And
Mhm.
if you are not that person, it's going to be very difficult for you to get to the trainings, be disciplined to go to the trainings. I hated hearing people say, man, I hate going to training. Why do I got to do that? I got cases that are sitting on my desk that are piling up. Look, I get it, but that's where it's for you. That's when you
Mhm.
get your training in. And people just don't embrace that process. They're too worried about what the clock or the target looks like, and they're not thinking about what they're doing and how they can make it better.
And that's one of my frustrating points, right? Especially for the LEO side. I sit there and I go, you look at this day and age, the danger that's out there. Our country, in my opinion, is more violent than it's ever been. And I'm sitting there going, if you're a law enforcement officer, it's not a matter of if, it's when. Are you putting the time in? Are you trying to make yourself better? Um, and then here's the thing, it's leadership as well. So how many guys at that upper echelons are actually doing anything? Are they actually going, hey guys, check it out. Here's the shift challenge of the week or whatever. Hey man, go get your copy of the firearms training notebook, figure out a plan and do some dry fire training. Heck, swing by here, before the entire shift takes off, man. If you're a roll call agency, hey man, we're gonna spend 5 minutes and just do some dry fire. Wow. What a concept, right? But it's mind-boggling when I see guys that they don't want to put the effort forward. So if you're not putting the effort forward, what else you're not putting the effort forward?
Yeah.
And so if you can't sit there and do a little dry fire, to me that's selfish, right? So you're not going to put the time in to make sure yourself is better. God forbid you're in that deadly force encounter and you get yourself killed. What's your family going to think? Right? You're gonna shaft them because you're lazy. Um, you know, my LEOs out there that are so freaking round, struggling to get in and out of their car, kit's not fitting properly. Really, dude? You can't take care of yourself. So probably means you can't help your buddy. If he gets shot, you need to pull him out of the line of fire or something like that. You can't help another citizen person. God forbid they're trapped in their vehicle, right? Can you pull them out? Can you not? I mean, guys, it's just have some accountability for you. And it boils into all aspects of life. And I think that's what a lot of people don't get. Like, we're not asking guys. And here's the thing, it shouldn't even be us asking, right? That's just our mantra. Hey, man, be 1% better every day. But people don't take it to heart. I mean, you said Kenny Freeman. Kenny Freeman, I watched my man come from Indiana, drive all the way to South Carolina because
Yep.
one of his deputies needed training. We were putting on a training event, and then here's him and one of his deputies. How many of the sheriffs are out there doing that stuff? How many sitting there looking for opportunities? Hey, man, I know you guys are going to be in town. Hey, let's do some training. Hey, Do I have my guys up to a certain point? I think he was even saying he's incorporating the t-shirt, fully embrace the t-shirts, right? I think they're qualling, if I remember right. Don't quote me on it, but I think he said they were qualling, with the t-shirts on. I was like, good for you, buddy. Trying to add to his agency as best you can. And Kenny, man, he took, I guarantee, all his leadership style. It's all military driven, right?
Yeah.
Be no do, lead from the front. I mean, he is doing that. He sets the example, and my hat's off to him. And I would say, hey, man, a lot of these other leaders out there, if you don't know, go Google Kenny Freeman, pick up the phone. I guarantee he'll give you some counseling 101 on leadership, but setting the example. And he's out there training with his guys, right? I mean, he's out there chucking that sandbag with the rest of them boys. And
Oh yeah.
I mean, just
He
phenomenal dude.
even won. He even was the fastest in one round because of his marksmanship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's some studs out there, but that's the thing. It's like you hear all these old adages, you hear your parents, you hear your grandfather saying it, anything worth doing is worth doing well. You don't turn in a report that's a piece of crap. It's got white out on it, and that all starts at the beginning. You don't let the young ones get rid of that. The ones who are coming into the new jobs. I don't care if you're a machinist. I don't care if you're, working on a crew on the highway. You don't let them get away with that stuff.
Yeah.
You started at a very young age, and then pretty soon you're doing things right. You're being deliberate. You're not duplicating things because you did them wrong. Things are going a lot smoother. You're not, double check your work. I mean, all those things, a measure twice, cut once. I mean, all those things, they're there for a freaking reason.
Yeah.
They're there for a reason. And I just don't understand it. There's a reason why Tiger Woods and all those professional golfers are on those grass tees. They're hitting a 5-iron or they're hitting a wedge over and over and over and over. They're not out there blasting the fun clubs, the big sticks. They're out there doing the little things, and they're doing them constantly. And they're having someone watch them, and they're looking at their swing every single time.
Yep.
And I think that's what we did with the Firearms Training Notebook. We kind of taken that into the sports performance type analysis.
Oh,
you hear these athletes. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and comment on that.
No, 100% it is, right? And this is the part. So when we kind of came up with this thing, or you kind of came up with the brainchild, right? We formulated this plan.
Yeah.
It's very strategic in how we're doing it, right? It is a tool to increase your performance. But it's like, here's the thing. We will never use the word speed or time. To me, it's data, right? Your data tells you a story. If you can extrapolate that data, and like we used to do the HOGG self-eval, hey, man, you used to get a raw time. Hey, here's your raw time. Here's your score. Well, great. But you're missing 12 pieces of data that are absolutely critical to go, hey, how do I take a time? Let's just say 10 seconds. Well, how do I get better? Well, I don't even know where to start. Right? Did I sit there and run this thing like a machine, but had an 8-second magazine change? I don't know.
Right.
Because I don't have the data broken down. And that's the part that I try to push. And then even like with the students, right? Like it's funny because we'll shoot the HOGG self-eval. We won't let the secrets out on all of that, right? So attend a class, figure it out. But I will tell you, going from that drill, which is just a straight performance on demand, right? Where are you at with your current skill set? Versus going over into, we kind of jump on 3-inch dots after that, ask guys, hey man, kind of do a comparison. What's your data from the, HOGG self-eval versus what's your data from over here? They might be on par. They might be a little bit slower. The guys that get slower, they get frustrated. Oh man, I'm slower. Okay, dude. You went from having a larger target during the eval to now you're shooting a 3-inch dot. So it's not even comparable. It's like you're doing apples and oranges. And that's the key part is, hey man, you've got to put in there. We've got the section for the distance and the target. Why is that target so critical? Hey, am I schwacking a IPSC style target at 5? Or am I sitting there trying to do a 3-inch dot? There's a big difference.
Yeah, and if you're not
So,
writing those variables down, it's worthless to you. It's
mhm,
absolutely worthless.
yeah. And
Yeah,
then, the other part, the note section underneath, dude, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? I mean, I don't want to be repeating the same mistakes. And that was the whole section for having the notes in there. But how many guys are sitting there, at the end of the day, just kind of reflecting on the day, just doing some journaling? Hey man, here's what went on
yeah,
today. You'd be surprised. Guys sit there and, man, I got no time. I said, okay. I said, I guarantee if you logged your time from the time you woke up, or hell, just take your damn magic propaganda box and take a peek at it. How much time you got on that screen?
yeah,
Hours, right? Hours. So don't give me the excuse I couldn't get a workout in. I couldn't get my dry fire in. I guarantee you're burning time on that box. So put that thing down, focus on you, on your family, on improving yourself, whatever that improvement is, right? We push the firearm stuff, but it's firearms, fitness, financial, family. I mean, we can go on and on what you're trying to do, but that should be the focus in my opinion. But yeah,
yeah.
it's using
And
that as a great
yeah.
tool.
And one of the big focuses too from, when people come to our trainings, same deal is, okay, this is, we show the drill, we demo it. Okay, this is how you do that. After we're done, we collect all the data. This is
Mhm,
how you set this up to do it dry fire. This is
mhm,
what you do. And you show them, you demonstrate the dry fire process as well. So now
yep,
they can take that back with them.
mhm,
Hey, and another thing too, as you're taking those notes, hey, that first target index, little issue. I'll get with you after this and I'll show you how you can practice that.
mhm,
Those kind of little tips right there for the instructor side of the house. Those little things, give it to him. You may not remember because you got 14 other guys or girls you got to talk to,
mhm,
but he's going to remember it. He'll come back to you or he'll make a note of it.
yep,
Just all those little things, those little idiosyncrasies that we do that I think make a huge difference in what we're trying to do. There's a reason why you see these athletes on a track and field that they set those starting blocks. They practice setting those up. They look
mhm,
at them. There's a reason why they do that, because they're trying to find every single advantage that they can.
yep,
And that's the difference between winning and losing. And that's exactly what we're trying to do at our trainings. And that's what that whole thing about the process is. You got to love that process,
mhm.
getting up or going to the range and doing those things and really being not just throwing rounds down range and having fun. That's great too, because it'll keep you coming back. But
Sure.
those other little things, that's where you're making your money. And a lot of it you can do in dry fire, at least half of it. And it
Oh,
doesn't take a whole lot of time.
yeah, the majority of your stuff is dry, right? Really,
Yeah,
I just need to go to the range to make sure I'm mitigating my recoil and my marksmanship is there. I'm not lying to myself going, "Hey," you know, that's it. But to me, it's like, here's the hook for the range, in my opinion. Yeah, you go out there and plink and have fun, right? There's times you just do
sure.
that. But dude, there's nothing better than going out there going, man, I've been crushing it, dry fire. And whatever your mark you're trying to hit, man, when you just sit there and go, poof, poof, I'm just hitting these things
Yeah.
mark on mark on mark. It's like, oh yeah, dude. That new, that old time, whoosh, cross that bad boy out, boom. Here's our new goal. Yeah, let's get it.
Here's our new part-time and it's a lot
Yeah,
faster.
that's what I'm
You know what I
saying.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we got a whole new, hey, I thought it was this. Now I'm here. I got a whole new spot where I'm starting at. And yeah, we're going to start trimming away and looking at efficiency there. So that's what it's all about, man. Is just,
Yep.
getting there. And that's the thing I love with our crew members, man. Those that crew, man, they are all about, hey
Yeah.
man, how can we get better? How can we hey, I had this problem. I got this. And like I said, last call, we're we're watching tape and everyone's benefiting from it, right? Everyone's picking
Yeah.
stuff up. It's like, yeah. Um, had Brian come down. Brian made a 6-hour trip, train with us on Sunday, I mean,
God, love that
guys,
guy.
dude, awesome dude. Awesome dude.
What a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But the good thing about the crew is you can go there and join right now,
mhm,
and one of the things I want to make sure that we start saying is, hey, if you think that we can make you or help you become 1% better every day, look us up.
yeah.
Send us a message, send us a DM.
Mhm,
You never know. We might be able to make you better. We've had folks leaving coaching programs coming to ours, not because we're any better instructors or whatever, or any more entertaining, but that's all we talk about for the most part. We have a
Mhm.
little bit of mindset stuff in there, make sure everybody's doing okay, do our buddy checks, have a little bit of fun, but that's all we're talking about, how we're going to get better at this stuff.
Mhm.
And I know that we've kind of slacked off a little bit on the fitness stuff, but at my tender age, I think it'd be benefit. I'm no way an expert on fitness. However, I think there's some things that we can show them
Mhm.
what we do.
Yeah.
And, we still can go out there and do those half marathons and do those crazy things and those triathlons, even at our age, and get after a little bit and compete. And
Mhm.
that's what's important, because the benefits of longevity and survivability, really immeasurable. You just can't measure it. So
Yeah. No, you got to put that added effort in, right?
yeah.
And everyone's going to be different, right? When it comes to their
Mhm.
whole fitness program, right? There's some things I just can't do because I'm
Right.
physically broken, right? My body does not
Yeah.
go certain
Yeah.
ways. Thanks, Uncle Sugar. You stuck me in the meat grinder, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's all right. We work around, right? We still figure out ways to stay strong. So don't let, hey, I've got some achy zowies, things don't work. Don't let that hinder you. No way. Right. Never
Yeah.
let anything hinder you. Figure out, how can I still get after it, make myself better. But yeah, and that's part of, the whole process we talk about. So definitely just a great group of international people. That's right.
Mhm.
International. Um,
That's right.
dude,
Yeah.
super crew.
Yeah. I think we
Yeah.
gained 5 or 6 more this week. So super
Mhm.
happy about it. Let's keep that going. But
Yeah.
anyway, great show. We'll talk some more about the transitioning from, one job to the next, and how
Yeah,
that can
buddy.
affect us mentally. We'll probably get into that a little bit.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, why don't you go ahead and close it out, Rick?
You know it, guys. Always train hard, stay safe, and we'll see you on the range.
Oh, I love that.
On the Range Podcast.